A very good morning to everybody. Hope you're all having a great start of the day. I'm your host with a beard, and today I am bringing you a review of the all-new 2022 Kia EV6. So without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Check it out. First of all, let me give a huge thanks to Kia Motors Big Van for providing me with this vehicle and making this video possible. I will link their website, Facebook and Instagram channel down below in the description, so be sure to go and check them out as they have a wide array of the newest Kia vehicles in their showroom. Here we have it, guys, the Kia EV6, and wait a minute, the car is parked a bit too far away. Let me check. Hey Kia, come a bit closer please, because my viewers want to have a better look at you. There we go. Awesome. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, that's about it. Nice. You can stop. And you can see it, guys. There's nobody sitting in it. So basically this is a feature which is very handy on this car. And you can, you know that you get in the high-end BMWs and Mercedes-Benz cars that you can control the car going forward and backwards through the key. Let's close her up now and thank her for her services. There we go. All right, let's have a look at this car. I've been meaning to review this car for so long now, and finally I got my hands on one. So the front end, it looks kind of beautiful. On pictures it doesn't look that sleek, but if you look at it in real time, you can see that the front end is kind of aggressive with these big lights. Look at how big these are. And this is Kia's version of the matrix lights. These are the daytime running lights. Let me show you guys if my camera picks it up. There we go, with the full-on turn signals. Very beautiful front end. Kind of looks like a bit like a Scirocco. Very, very beautiful. What I'm not particularly a fan of is these gloss black parts on the exterior, because these are going to scratch very easily when you get like rock chips and everything against it. But hey, you can still wrap it in plastic. So this is basically for the driver's assist features of the car. You can see not a grille, but kind of a black strip with some motif in it. Very gorgeous. Look at this light design. How beautiful does that look? And of course, the Kia logo. This has the upgraded optional wheels. So this car has the GT pack fitted to it, and that's when you get these wheels. These are, I think, 19-inch or 18-inch. I can't tell exactly. These are 20-inch actually. Wow. Very large wheels. They don't look large on this car. So this particular car has the option that when you get closer to it, it automatically unlocks like this, and then you can just lock it. Kind of has the design kind of like a Ford Mach-E. It does sit lower though. A very long wheelbase. I will show you guys once we are inside the car why that is good. And look at this back design. How cool is that? With the LED bar going all over the width of the rear of the car. And a very kind of a 3D kind of pattern in it that runs all the way across the width of the back. I absolutely love these things here. They look absolutely gorgeous with this pyramid kind of styling in it. And of course the GT line badging. And a fun fact, these are actually the reverse lights of the car. I can't show you sadly because I am all alone filming this. Now let's get the trunk space out of the way. Let me open up the boot. Did you see those turn signals lighting up? Very gorgeous. Very wide opening, and it goes pretty deep. And I think you can fit a lot of stuff in here. Maybe you can't stack them as high because the bottom, because of the batteries, is pretty high. But overall, you got a decent amount of space, and you can also recline these rear seats to get more space. There is some kind of rubber flooring on here to protect the actual floor, and then you can open this up and the whole part to store some other stuff down there as well. Nice. And let's close it up. Check these lights. The car, since it's an electric car, also has a front trunk or a frunk, and it is with a cover right here. It's about 52 liters and very deep. If you don't have these cases, you can stock a lot of stuff in here. Be wary that this is a rear-wheel drive version of the EV6, but if you go for the all-wheel drive version, there is a kind of a motor underneath this, so you get less space right here. I think it's about 20 liters or something, so it does eat into frunk space quite a bit. All right, now let's take a look at the interior of the Kia EV6. Open up the car, let's get inside. Very wide opening doors, therefore access is very easy, and immediately you see the very special Kia EV6 interior with the cool steering wheel. Feels decent in the hand with some leather stitching. And then you have your road assist features, and then your speech and your phone Bluetooth connectivity features, and then some radio and volume controls over here. And behind the steering wheel we see a Mercedes style double screen fully digital gate cluster, and this is the infotainment screen. Let's turn on the car to show you guys. A very nice animation, look at this. Looks absolutely gorgeous. The car beeps at you for some time, which is a bit annoying, but hey. So, very informative screen actually. One of the most informative screens I've seen in any EV yet. So here you can see your average consumption of the battery. Here then you have the actual time that you've been driving today and the mileage. Very crisp, very bright. Look, so you have the level 3 charging here, the amount of battery that rests, and this is your real-time battery consumption, so to speak. And then you can just customize it to your liking with very different settings. Moving to the infotainment screen, very large, very bright. I know on camera maybe it doesn't show up because it's with a black background, but it's very responsive, practically as responsive as any smartphone on the market. And then you have your navigation map right here. If you go back, you have your EV app, which is important in every electrical vehicle, where you get all your options and your information about the battery and the range of your vehicle. And it also shows where the nearest charging point is. Let's go back here. So the car is also equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and then you have your other various functionalities. You can change the background of the screen when you just go to themes, and then you just pick white, and there we go. This is much clearer and much more crisp for on the camera. You know, when you're looking at it in real time, it doesn't really make a difference. It is kind of bright, and I can understand why this car has night mode as well, because these screens will be extremely bright at night when you leave them in daytime mode. So here you guys go. Let's go to the navigation, and then you can just see it very clearly. Let me put on the map for you guys. Here's the map. As you guys can see, very crisp and very clear. The Kia EV6 also comes with a great 360-degree camera system with a top-down view. You can also, via the touchscreen, look around the car. Very nice, very clear images, and also from above. And then you can also zoom in over here to see closer to the car, and then you have some other settings that you can see here, some other camera angles. This is your front bumper. Then you have some rear angles as well, like this when you're pulling out of junctions, and this is how to turn the camera around to look around the car. Very nice feature and very much needed in this car because of the huge blind spot on the rear of the car, which I will tell you guys about whilst I'm driving the vehicle. Below the navigation screen, we see the climate control functions of this car. So, you know, fairly normal as everybody knows it. Touchscreen, of course. Like this, turn off the AC for the moment. And the good thing about this is that you can switch between screens. So this is a LED screen. If you want to go to your shortcut buttons, then you just press this button here, or touch operated button, and then you can see you have your navigation, your short controls, your tracks for your radio, and then your media, and then you can choose another setup as well in the screen above there. Very handy feature actually. All right, so moving to the middle console, here you have your cooled seats, heated steering wheel, normal buttons, but very nicely laid out here. Your ambient control, this is a metal finishing. Gloss black, not a fan of that. It's gonna scratch really easily because this is a high touch surface as well. Then you have your gear selector, so your drive and your rear, your reverse. Here are, this button I will explain to you in a minute. This is your auto hold and your parking sensors. You have two cup holders here with different depths and a cubby space here. This is your wireless charging for your phone, and the middle console, which is very, very deep. Look at this. Almost half my arm fits in it. You're gonna fit a lot of stuff in here. Very practical. We have some door bins over on the passenger side and this side. Not very deep. They are carpet padded here, but not very deep. I don't know how much stuff you'll be able to fit in that, but it's not going to be a lot. Here you also have a cubby space box, which is very large and goes very deep. Look at that. You also have a separate compartment for your owner's manual. So if the owner's manual is very thick, you just stick it in here, close it up, and then you have all the space for some other things. Now let's go back to this button. You know, as in many cars, this car can automatically park itself perpendicular and parallel between other cars, but this car can also park itself out of between those cars. So if you're too afraid, like, oh my god, the front car is parked too close to me and the car behind me as well, just press this button and then it'll give you some instructions. Keep the button pressed. It's scanning for a spot, and then you can choose. This way I cannot park out because it senses that I'm standing on a field on the right side. So just press this, get your hands off the steering wheel and keep this button pressed. And now, all right, I have to put on my seatbelt. The car is smarter than me. All right, now I press the park button. And the car is automatically getting out of the spot. Right, so I just took my hand off the button, it slipped off, so the car stopped. But it's a very handy feature, and I have not seen this on any other car before. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Are there any other cars that have this feature? Let me know down in the comments. Let's check the space in the rear of the Kia EV6. Very wide opening doors. Very easy access. As you guys can see, I have an abundance of knee room. This seat right here is not even in my driving position, because when you exit the car, the seat goes back a little bit to provide easy exit out of the car. So if you put it in your own driving position, you're gonna have even more knee space. You do sit a bit kind of in a weird angle with your knees because due to the batteries underneath the floor is a bit higher, but it's nothing too uncomfortable in my opinion. Headspace is okay. I think very large people, 6 foot and above, are going to struggle just a little bit, but for me it's enough. I'm between 5'10", 5'11", so I'm very comfortable here. All right, and now let's see how the Kia EV6 behaves on the road. Initial impression, very smooth suspension. You do feel the occasional pothole and some irregularities in the road, but it doesn't get annoying or too uncomfortable or anything like that. You still have a smooth, nice, comfortable ride. The steering wheel is nice and light driving around town, and at higher speeds it just gets a little bit firmer to provide more stability at those speeds.
It's not sporty. The car isn't meant for any type of sporty driving anyways. It's way too heavy for that. I think it weighs in at around 2,100 kilograms, so more than 2 tons. You do sit very comfortable in these seats. This car has the fully electrical seats. They are partly leather and partly cloth. And I believe I saw somewhere that these seats are made from recycled plastic bottles, which is very good. A car for environmentalists. I'm sorry, I stuttered for a bit there. You do sit at a slightly elevated position than most other cars, so you have a nice view over the road. Very large, big windscreen right here, and the side windows are large enough as well. All-round visibility isn't the greatest because in the rear window is a bit too small and it's sloped, so you have like this small strip and it gets obstructed by those big headrests from the rear seats as well. And also you have a huge blind spot back there on the C-pillar. But the car has a very nice feature to help solve that blind spot problem. So if you want to take a turn, just turn on your turn signal to the right or to the left, and the car will show you in the gauge cluster the rear view camera from that side that you're taking a turn off, which shows you the blind spot, so that way you can see if there's a cycle behind you or a car or anything. Very nice feature, very neat feature in this car, and that's a feature you only get like in the very high-end Audis or other expensive cars, and I'm very glad to see this feature in a car at this price point. Another neat feature in this car is that as any electrical vehicle, the Kia EV6 comes with a regenerative braking mode, and you have 2 flippers on the steering wheel. If you press those flippers, then you can set the ferocity of the braking. This car that I'm driving has the 77 kilowatt-hour battery with rear-wheel drive, and it has about 225 horsepower. I'm standing at the lights here now, so let me float the throttle and see how fast it is. Yeah, it's pretty snappy actually. Whew. Okay, obviously it's not going to be like any other Tesla or anything with 300-400 horsepower, but you can get this car as well with a with all-wheel drive, so a 77 kilowatt-hour battery on the rear wheels and then a 70 kilowatt-hour on the front wheels, which have a combined output of about, I think, 320 horsepower or something, which will make for a lot of fun times and will have such great pulling power. You have a nice and bright heads-up display right in front of you, and one feature this car has is that this car comes with augmented reality. So when you have the navigation screen on and you want to go somewhere, the screen shows you on the heads-up display with like a 3D arrowing when you have to take turns and when certain things that are popping up that you have to pay attention to on the navigation screen. So that's very neat in this car because this feature only gets optioned out in very high-end Mercedes-Benz cars. So well done, Kia. Driving at high speeds, the car is very well planted. It's a solid ride. You don't feel insecure. It sticks to the ground pretty good. So I think for longer journeys, this car is going to be just perfect. So Kia claims that this car can do about 520 kilometers on one charge, and I think that is pretty realistic. I mean, realistically, in real world circumstances, I think you should be able to do between 450 and 500 kilometers per charge, which is pretty impressive. So what are my final impressions about the Kia EV6? Well, I am very impressed by this car. I think this is the best electrical vehicle that I've ever driven or reviewed. The car, this one prices in at about 60,000 euros. With dealership deals, you can even get it for cheaper. And for that price, you get everything. This car basically has every pack selected on it, and also the sports pack, so the GT line package on it. And for this price, you get a beautiful car. I think personally, this car looks good. You get all the newest tech. Look at these screens, all the design. It's kind of like a futuristic design inside here. All the newest driver assist features and more, because of the blind spot camera and everything that you don't have in many other vehicles. All the tech in this car you pay too much for in the premium cars anyway, in BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and you get it in this car. So I think this is a very good package that you're getting for this price. You have an absolute abundance of space here in the rear seats for your passengers. You have a decently large boot to transport your stuff in. Plus, this car is a lot of fun to drive as well. And if you press the throttle, it's a very snappy car, as I mentioned before. So if you're in the market for an electrical vehicle, be sure to go and test drive this Kia EV6, because I think you will be pleasantly surprised. Anyways guys, this was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you have, please subscribe, click the bell icon, like the video, comment down below. I have a lot more reviews coming out as well, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, until later, and drive safely.